Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to take a look at Castle on the Hill by Ed Sheeran. So we're going to do the acoustic guitar version that he did on like the BBC radio video. It's a pretty popular video, and it's a good summary of what's going on in the song, the chords, because the original recording has a lot of it's got a little guitar line that kind of goes throughout the whole thing, and just that, and then there's some bass lines and electronic stuff. So he did a really good job of kind of putting it all together on a standard tuned guitar too. So we're going to learn that version real quick. So if you haven't checked out that video of him perform that on BBC Radio, you might as well. So let's take a look at this. We have basically 3 different sections to learn. So the first one is the verse section, and it sounds like this. All right, so let's talk about the left hand first, and then we'll move on to the right hand pattern here. So what he does here is how he transitions between the chords. He's got a little moving bass line that's going to be going in there. So he starts with a D chord, and then what he does is he goes ahead and prepares for the G chord that's coming up by putting down his pinky on the top note there, which makes it a D sus4 chord. And then you're going to do the moving bass line. So you have this. You're going to lift up these 2 fingers and come over and grab with your index finger the 2nd fret of the low E string. And when you strum across, that's going to mute the A string. You'll hear the bottom of my index finger is muting that A string. So we have this. And then from that bass line, it moves up to a standard, really a G power chord, because we're not playing the 5th string again, which is where that 3rd is at. So that bottom of the middle finger now is muting that A string. So he has this so far. All right, now you're going to keep these 2 fingers here and just move these fingers over to the 2nd fret there on the A string and the 2nd fret here on the G string. And you'll notice in the strumming patterns, he's usually strumming the 4 middle strings. He kind of strums up to the B string. He doesn't get that high E string. He's holding it down all the time, but he's not really hitting it a lot. So get it a mellower sound. So we have those notes now, really the 4 middle strings. And then you're going to pick up these 2 fingers and now just bar like an A major chord here at the on the 2nd fret there. So it's the open A string, and then the 2nd fret on the D and the G. And then you're still going to keep these 2 fingers here. So all together we have this. From a D, and just repeat. Right? So that's to kind of get that down so you can get the fret hand maneuvers down pretty well. And now let's add the picking. Now the picking is very percussive. And the pattern is this. So let's just do this on a D chord just to make it easy. You're gonna hit this chord normal once with a downstroke. Then lay your palm down and do 2 more downstrokes that are a little bit quicker that are muted. So it's muted because the palm is laying on the strings. So we have this 1, then 2 mutes, then hit once again, 2 mutes, and then 1 again. So we have this 1, 1. So what he does is when he's changing to a new chord, every time he does a quick little down, up, down. All right, so you can see that in context here. Well, we have when we go from the G and moving right into the G, and then from the G into the B, and then the A. So we have this. Now they're very light and kind of hang out on the lower pitch strings. All right, so actually we're gonna have, there were 3 parts of the songs, but this progression is also the same as the chorus, which we're gonna just do in a more dynamic, full strumming style. So 3 different chord progressions to learn, there it is, but this one is gonna be the verse and the chorus. So let's take a look at the next part of the song though. Before the chorus is the pre-chorus. And this is the same style, the muted style, without the quick little burst of down, up, down. We just have this. All right, so that's just 3 different chords. We're going to start with the G. Well, you saw this chord in the first part. The G chord to the A and the D. And we're still the 1 and then 2 mute strum pattern. All downstrokes. So G, A, back to G. So G is it's a 4-chord progression. So G is the first and last chord in the progression, and then you start back over, which means you play G once again. So the pattern, this pattern is done twice as long. You see when you're starting over. So it sounds like this. Start over. And now we're starting over again with a G. The 3rd time through, when you get to that A chord, you just let it ring. Just hit it once. And then that takes us to the chorus, which is a lot more dynamic. It sounds like this. To the verse there. So what's going on there? So it's the same chords that we did for the verse, but now you're doing pretty much a straight 16th note feel. So it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So just practice it a little bit. Maybe the second half of the progression, starting from that G. So just like, so basically the easier part of the chord change, why you can really work on that strumming pattern. So he's pretty much hitting just straight down, up, but he's accenting some of the downstrokes, so he kind of defines the. You can really hear that if you're just with a muted sound. You can hear that I'm boom, boom. All right, so that's how he's creating the rhythm there, since he's hitting the strings every time. And with the chorus, now we have the bridge section that happens after, I think, maybe the 2nd chorus. And it's the same kind of chords, and it just looks like this. All right, so it's that same 1 and then 2 mutes pattern. And we're going to start with the B chord, so same chords we've been using already. To the G. to the D, and the A. Now notice usually the strums are hanging out in the lower strings. I'm not making it to those high strings very often. Maybe during the chorus you can really open up and get up there and brighten up the sound a little bit. So it's just the B, G, D, A. Repeat. Alright, so it's more subdued like the verse is. Alright, so it's a fun one to play. It's a really nice song. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning it. Make sure you check out his performance on the BBC radio, and then come back to this and have the sound of it fresh in your ear and be ready to rock. Alright, I'll see you then.